March, it's late, and we're finally set up at camp. Overall, not bad. A lot of new people camping with us this time, including my 10-year-old daughter hammock camping for the first time. But this is Marnock Outdoors, and this is our March camp out. All right, good morning, everybody. So we got in. It still had a little bit of daylight when we got in, but by the time we got kids and stuff set up, it was dark before I got to set up, and that's fine. So we're out here at the world famous and beautiful Camp Manitowoc in Peninsula, Ohio, not too far out of Akron, south of Cleveland for those of you not from Ohio. And this is my home for the weekend. So I got my my Manitowoc tarp that I made by Marnock Outdoors. Order now. And inside, it's kind of hard to see, but I've got my 2.5 ounce Rango underquilt, also made by Marnock Outdoors, and my Marnock 11-foot hammock with integrated mosquito net. Very similar to the Dutch Wear Chameleon. I actually get my zippers from Dutch. Really pleasant sleep last night. Working all week, getting up early, and finally get out here into the middle of the woods and lay in my hammock, and it doesn't take long at all, and I'm out. So really comfortable sleep. And today we are getting ready, if the kids ever finish cooking breakfast, getting ready to hike the Yellow Trail, which is 5.1 miles, and that's not including the 3/4 of a mile from where the trail ends back to camp. So we're probably gonna hit about 6 miles before the morning's over here. When you work with middle school and high school kids, and they're in charge of organizing themselves, and they have a time schedule, it almost never stays on schedule. So they're actually doing pretty good today, and I'm looking forward to getting on that trail, and looking forward to another good night's sleep in my hammock tonight. So we'll see you out on the trail. All right, so we made it out on the Yellow Trail finally, and all this deadfall is what we've just been leaping over and jumping over and climbing over. It's a little bit ridiculous, actually, and I know that because it's a part of the national parks, they're not allowed to just come in here and clean it out. I think, take an act of Congress, but we're getting over it. The kids are doing great so far. We're only about a mile into it so far. The adults are struggling back there a little bit other than me. I'm up with the kids, but having a good time. It's beautiful weather outside, about 60 degrees, sun's shining, sky's blue. Just a really nice day for hiking, so we're going to keep going. All right, still out here on the Yellow Trail. I haven't really gotten that much further. Have a very, very steep decline that's going to take some time for some of our less nimble people that are hiking with us, but they'll make it down, no problem. Natalie, having a good time on the trail?
Yeah.
This is Natalie's first trail experience with us, and you're going to backpack with us next month?
Mm-hmm.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
10 miles instead of 5? With your backpack?
Mm-hmm.
Camp in the middle of the woods? Cuddle with the black bears?
Well, I cuddle with the black bears, more like baby coyotes.
Baby coyotes, okay. So you heard it first. She's going to cuddle with the baby coyotes in Pennsylvania. But yeah, it's really pretty though. Really pretty, this little ravine we just climbed down. Even without the leaves haven't grown yet, you got the green moss on the fallen logs. But it's real nice. So I'll show you here real quick.
It's the A word.
Apparently we have some adults using some inappropriate language. All right, so finally hit a flat part of the trail, making some pretty good time. Gonna keep on trucking. It's really, I love hiking in these more remote trails that are not used as often. Get away from the noise. Last night, the campsite next to us, we had 2 kids that were playing trumpets, which was especially annoying because I'm a music teacher in my regular job, and I was kind of done hearing high school trumpet players. But it's been good so far. Gonna keep hiking down the trail, and gonna come back next time we come up to something exciting here. Well, folks, it's a sad day on the Yellow Trail. We've lost Tiny. He didn't make it. Yeah. He had to take a spur trail back to camp. He just wasn't feeling it today. Legs were hurting. That's the good thing about camping or hiking out at camp, is there's enough spur trails to get you back to a road, to get you back to your campsite without trudging through the wilderness for 3 miles. But it's a good litmus test. He was gonna try to do Minister Creek with us next month, and now he knows either to not do it, or the better option would be to do some conditioning beforehand so he's ready for it. So it's kind of hard to just jump into one of these trails, even though it's only 5 miles, and it's a rough trail. It's not very well kept. That's the bad thing about some of these primitive scout trails, is that they don't come through with a chainsaw and clear it out, so you're hurdling over logs and sticks and trudging through the mud, and they're not, it is what it is. And the difference is, we get to Minister Creek and we will have pretty well trodden trail. Even when you don't see the markers, you see the trail. So but we're going to continue on. We got about 3 miles left. Still a beautiful day. But yeah, so Tiny, if you're out there, wherever you are, rest in peace, my friend. All right, everybody. So it looks like the yellow trail got the best of most of the kids. A lot of undergrowth, a lot of fallen trees, and a lot of kids that just weren't ready to go the distance on it. But that's okay, because for me, for camping and scouting, it's all about having a positive experience. So we got to the point, it was about 2/3 of the trail, and we got to one of the camp roads, and they decided that they were going to walk on the roads to go back to camp, which not really that much of a distance saving. It's maybe half a mile less total, but they're not going to be walking through thorns. So, we're going to have a discussion about proper gear and being ready for the trail and packing enough water, because that was a big one. They guzzled their water real fast and didn't have enough to sustain them through the 5 miles. And nobody had their filters with them that ran out of water, because if they would have had their filters, there were several streams that we crossed that they could have filtered water and had a safe drink that way. But it's been fun. I kind of would have liked to finish the trail, but at the end of the day, I'm just happy that the kids are okay and they're getting back to camp. The biggest problem is that a majority of them didn't actually sleep last night. They stay up all night, so then they know we're hiking 5 miles and they're already exhausted before we start. But yeah, it is what it is. It's a good time. I'm just happy to be out here, sitting on a bench by the lake, enjoying the view, waiting on the last couple that are struggling to get down the hill, and we're going to continue on back to camp. But it's been fun so far. All right, so we made it back from camp. Made it back to camp, I should say, nice and safe. Everybody made it back. Everybody's having a good time. Just cooked dinner. So yeah, it's really amazing what you can do with a $10 per person budget, because the kids made chili for dinner, and they had grilled cheese for lunch, and breakfast with sausage, biscuits, and gravy, which was all fine. Another patrol had walking tacos and cold cut sandwiches for lunch, and breakfast was pancake and bacon. That's cool too. The adult patrol, which is the group of adults that's camping out here, we cooked New York strips and T-bones, and we found them on sale, so we stayed under budget as well, which is always a fun thing. But the sun's starting to set. Absolutely beautiful out here at camp. Got the moon is coming up. It's full moon right there, and we're about to do a crossover ceremony for our new scout, and a couple other new kids that are joining us in the troop as well are gonna officially join us with the ceremony. So we're looking forward to that. So I guess if I have to sum up this weekend in one thought, it's when you're camping with a group, it's just have a good experience. It really doesn't matter how you choose to camp. And I am starting a podcast, or I think I'm going to start a podcast, and that's probably one of the first topics I'm going to cover is what is camping, what's the right way to do it, and what's the wrong way to do it. And when you think about it, and when I think about it, there's ways I prefer to do it, but there's really no right or wrong way. If you want to camp in a cabin, great. Cabin with a hot tub, I've done that before. It's awesome. A camper at a campground, that's fine. Tents, hammocks, sleeping under the stars, whatever you're into, as long as you're out and you're enjoying yourself and you're having a good experience, it's really, that's all that's important. The only wrong way to do it is when you don't practice safety at camp, and you don't practice a leave no trace policy. In my mind, there should never be a reason to leave a campsite trashed. There's really not ever a reason to leave a campfire burning when you're not attending it, because that's how the pristine outdoors that we like to enjoy ends up not being available for the next generation. So many forest fires are started by people that are just careless with fire. And so many times we walk into a campsite where fire pits haven't been cleaned out at all, probably a lot in the last 3 years. So we make sure that we remedy that problem. We make sure the fire is completely out, ashes are spread in a way that's safe for the environment, so that we're not killing ground cover or plants or anything like that. We're really leaving no trace. Usually, if we're not using a permanent fire pit, we like to dig a pit, save the grass, and then put the grass back on top before we leave. So, 3 months from now, when there's a group out here at camp, they won't know anything about there was a fire here. All they'll see is a spot in the ground that has greener grass than everywhere else. So, to sum it up, have a good experience. Look forward to our next camp out. We're going to Minister Creek. I know I made a video a year and a half ago. We went to Minister Creek in November. I'm looking forward to doing this in April, seeing what the difference is between winter and spring. It'll be a little less cold, hopefully. I'm really excited to try out my new Osprey Atmos 65 AG backpack. Just got that with my Christmas money, and I'm really excited to see what a difference it makes over the Amazon Basics backpack that I was using. I mean, I liked my Amazon backpack if everything fit in there, but after doing about 17.5 miles at the Zaleski State Forest, I could tell it didn't fit my body type. So I found a backpack that fits, and I'm looking forward to that. Hopefully, my brother Quarter Zip will be with us in April if he can get the time off of work. So from Marnock, when you're out there, have fun, be safe, be respectful.